To begin, we will present you different aspects of the Bahamas in the best possible way. So we had to find some information about its history, culture, tradition, activities.
Firstly, we will present a short introduction. Then, we will speak about the historical aspects. Besides, we will introduce cultures and traditions. Finally, we will talk about must-see venues and museums and galleries.
Before starting, it's important to know that the capital name is Nassau and it's located near the north of the Caribbean Sea, and also it's an archipelago which are 700 islands.
Then I will present you the history of the Bahamas. People who came from what is now Cuba live on the island of the Bahamas around 300 and 400 AD. They used to feed themselves with the sea products, and they were totally autonomous. The Lucayan people settled here until 15,000 AD, and they developed a viable politic, social, and religious society. Columbus was the first European to reach these islands in 1492 when he discovered the New World. He arrived on the island of San Salvador. Inspired by the surrounding shallow sea, he described them as islands of the Bahamas, which has become the island of the Bahamas. When he arrived, there were about 40,000 Lucayans, but their peaceful nature made the enslavement easier for the colons. So, around 25 years, all of the Lucayans were dead by the disease and the hard work of the slavery. The Bahamas began to interest English people, and finally they came in 1648 to establish the first permanent European settlement named Eleuthera. English Puritans known as Eleutherian adventurers arrived here in 1649 in search of religious freedom. Captain William Sales sailed to the American colonies for help and received supplies from the Massachusetts Bay Colony. The shallow water and all the islands were perfect places for pirates, who came many, the most famous ones being Blackbeard and Calico Jack, maybe an inspiration for Pirates of Caribbean. Though there are many rumors of hidden treasures that still exist today. For example, Sir Henry Morgan, a wealthy privateer, buried treasure throughout the Bahamas Islands. However, since 1670, Nassau, the capital, was a commercial port, where lived many lawless men. Given that there were pirates, heavily laden cargo ships were looted. So, soon after, Great Britain as caused the archipelago became a crown colony in 1618 by setting a royal governor, Woodes Roger, under the command of the king, and it succeeded to suppress piracy in it and restore the order. A century later, the Bahamas, particularly Eleuthera, welcomed American colonists loyal to Britain. They had a great influence in the islands by bringing skills about agriculture and ships building and slaves. The slavery was very common in the Bahamas at this time. American slaves and their descendants constituted the majority of the population in this period. British slavery abolition is in 1807, but Bahamas slavery abolition is only in 1834, so Bahamas was a haven for freed American slaves. Now Afro-Bahamians make up 19% of the population. The Bahamas benefited greatly from the Civil War of USA, 1861 to 1865. Indeed, the cotton British needed for the textile came from the south of the USA. Because it was closed, the USA cotton met the British ships in the Bahamas. However, the end of the Civil War marked the end of the prosperity due to the alcohol prohibition. The Bahamas became independent in 1973. Now it is a free and sovereign country, even if it is a member of the Commonwealth of Nations. Furthermore, the National Day is the 10th of July. The island of the Bahamas became one of the richest countries in the Americas, following USA and Canada, thanks to tourism and offshore finance. First, I will present the Commonwealth. The Commonwealth, named also the Commonwealth of Nations, is a group of 53 states, of which were formerly part of the British Empire. The Commonwealth was created at the beginning of the 20th century, when nations of the British Empire began to succeed. Its main goal was to ease the process of the British decolonization. It is a way to maintain global unity between countries which share language, history, and culture, despite creates independence and self-governance of former British colonies. The populations of the Commonwealth represent 1/2 of the world population, and despite the difference of geography and demography, these countries are said to be united through their common value, democracy, human rights, and the rule of law. Now I'll speak about political actuality. The Bahamas is a parliamentary constitutional monarchy headed by Queen Elizabeth II in her role of Queen of the Bahamas. The Bahamas is an independent country but a member of the Commonwealth of Nations. The politics of the Bahamas takes place within a framework of parliamentary democracy, with the Prime Minister at the head of the government. As a former British colony, its political and legal traditions closely follow those of the United Kingdom. Queen Elizabeth II is the head of state but executive by the cabinet.
So British came at the first time in 1649 to find the free in religion. They even helped them because people who lived in the Bahamas didn't have a lot of food at this period, and after that they made exchange food, materials, activities. Besides, British helped them because there were battles, the Raid of Nassau, so it was a naval operation by colonial forces against the British during the American Revolution War. So it was a war because they wanted to take the powder of the cannon, but the Nassau's government got hated because they had a better plan. After that, American team stayed 2 weeks at Nassau. Let's continue with the currency. Since 1966, the currency is the dollar, more precise, the Bahamian dollar. There is a specificity because it's also the currency of the Turk and Caicos Islands. Besides, if USA people want to go here, they can use their currency because the US dollar it's also accepted in the Bahamas. Some example: 1 pence equal at approximately $3, and $1 equal at approximately 90 euros. Let's talk about the typical food. Bahamian foods. Is a combination between Southern American and Caribbean. However, they have their speciality too. They always use a lot of spices. It's even called the Iceland's love of spices. By example, the cracker conch recipe. You fry 4 conch with 2 eggs, flour and lemon, and after you should taste with a spicy sauce. Now, it's time to explain their tradition. They have carnivals during all the year. The most famous is the Yukano. But since the end of the segregation, it's called Boxing Day. So it's a period with great costume, music, dancing. The carnival brings together more than 1,000 people. American slaves were given 2 days off during the Christmas season, which they used to celebrate by singing, singing, dancing and colorful mask. Besides, the typical song is the gombey, so it refers to the rhythm. The meaning to play is different than at the time of slavery, but now they play sax, percussion and electric guitars. The Bahamas' reputation to film movies is really important because of their landscape, certainly. The color of the sea makes dream. Greatest movie were filmed especially Help, which is a British comedy adventure film starring the Beatles, or we could say The Next Man, which speak about political action. We could even say In the Water is Iceland. It's about savage group of pirates, but also Never Say Never Again. The film is based on the James Bond novel Turntable, or the Odyssey. Tomorrowland is also a movie. I don't want to describe the festival, but rather the film. So it's based on American science fiction and mystery adventure. Nevertheless, the most famous realizations are probably Pirates of the Caribbean, the Dead Man's Chest, and At World's End, so 2 Pirates of the Caribbean, and also Show for the Revenge. The first is Desperate Journey, turned in 1942. So, to sum up, movies which were filmed are really different on another.
First of all, I will present parks and open spaces that you can visit in the Bahamas. Harbour Island is one of the most former colonies. It is here that the first parliament of the archipelago was installed. Then, Harbour Island is famous for its pink sand beach, located along its eastern Atlantic Ocean side. This beach extends over 5 kilometers. The color of the sand comes from microscopic coral insects known as foraminifera, which have a bright pink or red color. Besides, Pink Sand Beach is one of the best places to go diving thanks to its colorful seafloors. Then, this is Paradise Island. It is located in front of Nassau, the capital of the Bahamas, and is the most famous destination of the Bahamas. The island offers many activities like kayak, jet ski, diving, golf, and you can visit the biggest open-air aquarium of the world, showing more than 100 types of fish. You can see in the plan that it's very beautiful and very big. Then you can go to Dolphin Cay to swim with the dolphin. Nassau, the capital city of the Bahamas. It is one of the most famous port cruise of the Bahamas. Even if there are a lot of tourists in the city keeps a charm that leaves no one indifferent. You could pass the day on the sand of the beautiful beaches of the Caribbean, or visit museums, go in the shops, or meet dolphins in the Blue Lagoon Island. Then, this is Grand Bahama, one of the most famous destinations of the tourists too. The capital, Freeport, is the second biggest city of the Bahamas. If you prefer an authentic city, you should go to Leucava, located in the south. The Leucava National Park has the biggest great caves of the world. You can visit them with a boat. This is Andros, the most wild island. Andros are the third coral barrier of the world, so it's a famous destination for the divers. The island is considered like the mondial capital of the bonefish fishing. It's the biggest protected zone of the Bahamas with 5 national parks. This is Treasure Cay, the 10th beach the most beautiful in the world, depending on the National Geographic. Green Turtle Cay is one of the paradise islands located in the Abaco. There are beautiful beaches and protected reefs too. Here, any mass tourism, the only means of transport which allow to pass on beach to beach, is the golf cart. This is Pig Island or Big Major Cay, the only island where you can swim with the pigs. The island is only inhabited by the pigs that would have been abandoned by brothers from the centuries ago. Long Island is a beautiful island located in the south of the archipelago. It is here where you can see the most beautiful landscapes of the Bahamas. Besides, this picture shows the biggest blue hole of the world, called the Dion Blue Hole. Finally, this is Bimini, located near to Miami. Bimini is famous for its highly fishy waters. Tournament of fishing is organized every year between March and September. The transparency of the water allows you to observe the dolphin and hammerhead sharks. Then I will present museums and galleries. This is the National Art Galleries of the Bahamas. This is a museum housed in Villa Doyle which presents a Bahamian art. It was created since 1996. Finally, this is Pompeii Museum of Slavery and Emancipation, or the Venue House. This museum speaks about the story of the slaves in the 18th century. The Venue House was a slave auction room. The museum presents a craft and history show as well as testimonies from the period of slavery and emancipation.
So to conclude, we think that the Bahamas are an archipelago very rich culturally and historically, and thanks many venues, water parks, beautiful beaches, and all the museum, it is a very attractive place, and you must visit it because it will be an amazing and unforgettable experience.